in, how do I say, a particularly flop era of politics, and I'm just going to stay particularly with the United States right now. And so it does matter how you portray data and the study that you're getting it from. And I don't want to lose that case because it matters, especially now when folks are pulling things out of articles and tweets and concepts and policies and just sharing them without any additional context. That something that you may have created without the intention of being harmful can harm quite a bit of people. Something that comes up for us a lot is a lack of respect for human dignity when we're auditing things. Specifically, this comes up in the language we use. We overall encourage people to use person-first language. There are times as language evolves that is not the most relevant terminology, and we will learn together. Something that's very challenging sometimes with sharing with a client is that, friends, we all learn because language is evolving. People are thinking about more critically how they like to identify. They're getting more magnified within their voices. And so we're always shifting language, but we often try to use person-first language. An example of that is if it feels weird to use, think twice if that is the right language. And if it doesn't feel weird, but you're still not sure if something is right, we often encourage people to not use something or label a group as something that ends in an S. An example that we've come back to a lot is about migrants. And a way we could shift that, particularly we are Chicago-based, and so there are many displaced people or people who have been displaced who have come to Chicago. And that gives a more human feel to how we're talking about folks. Also, there is more breadth of experience of it's not just one type of person coming here. These are people who need to be respected because they are lives and they just deserve that. And so opening up that expansion to recognizing that human dignity is important. We also like to encourage people to think critically about any judgments on a group or individual about how they are. I most recently saw this when we were talking about folks with intellectual disabilities, and just being mindful that even if someone is not in a position to give you feedback, does not have access to give you feedback, their human dignity still matters. And so being mindful how you talk about people. And then the last thing, it kind of gets back to what I mentioned at the top of the slide, is just being mindful about outdated terms and phrases. Sometimes we work with clients and they're like, well, Gen Z and the new terms. And I want to stop people here because I think there are two things at stake here. First, there's ageism, this assumption of like, I can tap out as an adult and I'm going to let young people take over shifting this language and y'all just email me when the new language comes out. And we don't need that. Everybody is making change across age. There was change before us, there'll be change after us. And the second thing is, it's on us. If you are a person with a privileged identity, or any identity, honestly, we are in a position to learn and how to be able to do better and build inclusion. And so we are always learning something new. And when we learn, we can do better. By knowing better, you have a responsibility to do better.